Odysseus was finally going home. After 10 brutal years fighting in the Trojan War, the legendary king was sailing back to his wife and son. But there was one problem. He would not see them for another 10 years. And the reason was not a war, not a storm, not even a monster. It began with a decision that seemed almost meaningless. A decision made after Odysseus had already survived the worst battle of his life. He had escaped a place no ordinary man could have escaped. He could have simply sailed away. But Odysseus wanted one thing before he left. His ships reached an unfamiliar island. Odysseus and his men discovered a massive cave filled with food, cheese, and livestock. His crew wanted to take what they could and leave immediately. But Odysseus refused. He wanted to meet the owner of the cave. And that decision would change everything. The owner finally returned. He was a Cyclops. A gigantic creature with a single eye in the middle of his forehead. His name was Polyphemus. And unlike Odysseus, Polyphemus had no interest in following the rules of hospitality. He sealed the cave entrance with a massive boulder. Odysseus and his men were trapped. The boulder was too heavy for any ordinary man to move. And Polyphemus had no intention of letting them go. He attacked the men. Suddenly, the cleverest man in Greece was trapped inside a cave with a monster. But Odysseus had survived worse. He studied the Cyclops. He studied the cave. And then he came up with a plan. First, he offered Polyphemus wine. Strong wine. Strong enough to put the giant to sleep. And when Polyphemus asked his name, Odysseus gave him a false name. Nobody. It sounded strange, but Odysseus had a reason. He knew that if he could blind the Cyclops, he would need a way to stop him from calling for help. Then the plan began. They heated a massive wooden stake and drove it into Polyphemus's only eye. The Cyclops screamed. The other Cyclopes heard him and rushed to the cave. "Who is hurting you?" they shouted from outside. Polyphemus screamed back, "Nobody is killing me!" And the other Cyclopes left. Odysseus's plan had worked. But escaping the cave was only half the problem. Polyphemus still guarded the entrance. So Odysseus tied his men beneath the bellies of the Cyclops' sheep. Then he tied himself beneath the largest ram. One by one, the animals walked out of the cave. And Polyphemus felt their backs with his hands. He was checking for escaping men. but he never thought to check underneath. Odysseus was free. His men were free. They ran back to their ships. Everything Odysseus had done had worked. The monster was blinded. The prisoners had escaped. The ships were already moving away from the island. And then Odysseus made his final decision. He turned back toward the shore. His crew begged him to stop. But Odysseus could not resist. He shouted back toward the island. He mocked the blinded Cyclops. And then he made the mistake that would follow him for years. He revealed his real name. Tell them Odysseus, son of Laertes, blinded you. The moment the words left his mouth, the escape changed completely. Because Polyphemus was not just a monster. He was the son of Poseidon. And now Poseidon knew exactly who had humiliated his son. Polyphemus raised his hands toward the sea and called on his father. He asked Poseidon to make Odysseus suffer. And from that moment on, the journey home would become a 10-year nightmare. Because Odysseus did not lose 10 years in a single moment. He lost them one decision at a time. And that is what makes his story so unsettling. The decisions that change our lives rarely announce themselves when we make them. Sometimes, we only discover their weight years later. So ask yourself, what small decision are you making today that could change the next 10 years of your life? Write it in the comments. Because a small decision can create consequences far bigger than you ever imagined.